And welcome back to another edition of The Bachelorette, Season 14, Episode 7, Review, The Final Roses. I am your host, my name is Brent Baum, and I am not only your favorite contrarian, I'm the only contrarian. I'm not here to tell you what you want to hear, but what you need to hear. And thank you for joining me again. Make sure you hit a like button, make sure you leave a comment, let me know what you guys think about this episode. But I want to jump right into this. Becca has 6 guys left to choose from. They are in the Bahamas. She has 3 one-on-one dates, 1 3-on-1 group date. Wow, 1 3-on-1 group date. Let's get first off with Colton, the elephant in the room. Colton claims that he is a virgin. That's been the talking point. All the guys are talking about it. I don't even know why Colton told the other guys. I would have just kept it to myself. And I would have just divulged that to Becca, but he told the rest of the guys. So, throughout the first one-on-one date with Colton and Becca in the Bahamas, Colton was just trying to find the right time to divulge that. It's really not really a perfect time to really talk about that. But you could see throughout, while they're on the boat, when the guy that was from the island basically introduced some conch or pistol or whatever the aphrodisiac is, he was offering that. And the aphrodisiac, man, I didn't even know what that was. I was like, there's no way that I'm eating that. That thing was not appetizing whatsoever. But hey, they decided to indulge in it, and it just didn't look very appetizing. I don't really think that Colton and Becca really need any type of aphrodisiacs. You can see they have physical chemistry, and that Becca throughout the season has said he's easy on the eyes. She's definitely into the guy physically. So after that, finally Colton gets the opportunity to divulge to Becca that he's a virgin. So Colton tells Becca about football Colton and the person Colton. And when he started talking to the third person, I was like, what is this guy, The Rock? Talking about Colton's this, Colton's that. Come on, man. You only talk about yourself in third person. So he basically tells Becca about it, and Becca, you can see her heart just dropped. She cannot believe that Colton is a virgin. And so to the point where Becca actually had to get away, leave the table, escort herself, and talk about it with herself, get alone time with herself to really digest what Colton just told her. And I'm thinking to myself, oh, is this going to be another moment of where Becca says, can I walk you out? Is Colton going to get the exit? But I was like, there's no way. There's no way. So Becca, she gathers her thoughts. She goes back to Colton. She tells Colton that I appreciate you being honest with me, telling me about that and how it's not so much that you're saving yourself for marriage, you're just saving your heart. And that to me, I don't remember exact quote, but I know it was along those lines. I think that she's content with it, even though perhaps she wants someone a little bit more experience. I know Colton mentioned that about the experience thing. But personally, I hate to break it to you guys, and I'm sure many of you guys at home are thinking about it. Let me know what you guys think. I think that Colton is lying. I don't fully believe that Colton is a virgin. I don't really think that's a topic you should lie about, especially on television. But I just get this idea that Colton's not telling the whole story. I just don't believe that. It wouldn't even surprise me if Colton had a tryst with Tia. I think that it looks more attractive in some ways that he's a virgin, that he's saving himself. It might be a little bit more of a challenge. So for Becca, even though I think that Becca really does want a guy who's a little bit more experienced, but at the same time, I get this idea that Becca just might be okay with it. She gave him a rose. She wants to take him to hometowns. She wants to meet his family. So obviously she's still into him. And it's not a deal breaker for her. It's not a deal breaker for her. But I do think long term it just might be once they get to the fantasy suite. So moving forward, I want to get to the next one-on-one date. The one-on-one date, I'm not doing this in chronological order. Talk about Blake. Blake. Now, you guys know what I think about Blake. I think that Blake is a very insecure person. I think he's too lovey-dovey. I think he's the type of person that is very clingy, and he thinks that he's in a fairy tale, and that he has the glass slipper to Becca's foot, and that this is all going to work out so smoothly. And you can hear it throughout the entire time. Blake is complaining about the fact that Becca is with other guys, that Becca is on dates with other guys, and how it hurts him, and how he doesn't know about them, he doesn't know about us. But he should know that they are in a perfect prime position. Becca looks at him as the front runner, and everybody at home, I know you guys think that. It's not a problem. The insecurity should not get to him. I believe he got one of the first one-on-ones. So he's in good shape. He's in absolute good shape. I just think that Blake, to me also, I think he just lacks that alpha. He really does lacks it. He's the type of person that he just needs someone to always coddle him and always give him reassurance. But in relationships, you need space. In marriages, you need space. And for whatever reason, it's his idea that Blake does not understand that. And he even brought it up on the one-on-one date about how hard it is for him and the reassurance. And Becca I can't even believe that Becca said that she sympathizes with Ari. Does she really just say that? She sympathizes with Ari. I could not believe those words came out of Becca's mouth. But she understands where he's coming from. Now, granted, there's no defending what Ari did to Becca. Basically, putting the ring on her, then taking it off, and then giving it to Lauren. Absolutely unacceptable. But now she has a little bit of idea how challenging this is with all these different guys. But when Blake got to the point later on in the date, he finally told Becca that he is in love with her, that everything feels so right, it's so natural. And then they had a kiss, and then Becca said, well, I am 100% where he is at. I wanted to tell him that I am in love with him, but I cannot because of the journey of the show. Now, obviously, I'm paraphrasing here, but she did say I'm 100% sure. So now I'm starting to think that maybe, just maybe, she's on the same levels of where Caitlyn was with Sean on Caitlyn's season. So if Becca already knows that she's 100% in love with Blake, why is there even a show? Why are we still filming this? It's pretty obvious that Becca's gonna go with Blake at this point in time, and she feels the same exact way. Personally, I think Becca needs a little bit of stronger of a guy than Blake. A guy's a little bit more confident, a guy's a little bit more sure of himself, a guy that's not so clingy. But apparently she sees something in him because he always is sharing his feelings. A little too much though. A lot of times he's a little too much into his feelings. A little too much. It's good to be emotional and get to more of a level that's a deeper level. Sometimes it can be good to wear your feelings on your sleeves, but not all the time. Not to the degree that Blake does. So it's one of those things that I personally think that Becca should not go with Blake. But I get the idea, I think most of the home think that she feels that she's 100% where he's at. That's what she's gonna go with. So I want to hear what you guys think. Should Becca go with Blake? Is Blake too clingy? Do you think that Blake and Becca really would work out long term, or do you think Becca needs a little bit stronger of a guy? And there's a lot of ifs. Or do you think? But let me know. I do want to talk about the next one-on-one date, Garrett and Becca. I think that people say Blake's the front runner. I still think that Garrett's a little bit more of the front runner, even though now Becca claims that Blake is the front runner. But at the same time, Garrett, to me, I think he's a little bit more compatible with her, a little bit more sure of himself, a lot more confident. You can see with their one-on-one date, not Blake. Why am I saying Blake? No, I'm still talking about Blake. Basically, Garrett just seems a lot more sure of himself. But at the same time, there's something about Garrett that just doesn't come off as authentic. there's never seems to be anything wrong with him. There's never seems to be any type of conflict, nothing really emotional with him. Everything's just so great with him. And I get the whole law of attraction. You think positive, you're going to attract other positive people. And you think positive, you're going to get positive results. But you don't think positive all the time. And even Becca was mentioned now in their date house. She never sees a side of him where there's any conflict. The most conflict that I brought up is the fact that he was married, I think at 23. They got a divorce, and how his ex-wife, was a hothead and was always yelling and separating the family, and there was a lot of different calamities going on. So it was more like one of those things where with Garrett, I don't see a side of him where he's really always being authentic. And there's nothing wrong with being a positive person, but at the same time, show another side of you. Show some sides of being vulnerable. I think that's what Becca is looking for, but he hasn't really shown that. The most he's shown it is his ex-wife. Sure, that's a vulnerable state that he was in, but I just don't buy it. And even though they look good together, I think long-term they look good together more so than Blake and Becca. I just think that there's still something about him that is not really genuine from the standpoint that everything is so great with him. So, moving on, I want to talk about the next one-on-one date. Actually, you know what? That was all 3 one-on-one dates. What am I talking about? Those are all 3 one-on-one dates. Next, I do want to talk about the 3-on-1 date with Wills, Leo, and Jason. Now Becca has to decide among these 3 guys. First, let's just jump off with Leo. I was really shocked that Leo even got this far. I think he's been a bit of a kook. He comes off as someone who is definitely insecure of himself, shy person, doesn't really feel like he can offer enough to Becca, and Leo was very brave of him to be proactive and just acknowledge the fact that him and Becca, she doesn't feel like him and Becca are at that level that she is with other guys. And that was very, very good, because then Becca eventually said, you know what, you're right. I do feel that way. I don't think that we're at the same level, that we can really take things any further, take it to hometowns. And the fact that Leo got this far, of course he's looking for love, but he got very far. He really did. He got a lot further than I think a lot of people thought he would be. He should be proud of himself. He deserves a golf clap. I'll give that guy a golf clap for that. He did a nice job, even though I understand he has insecurities in different areas, like we all do. But he did a nice job. Got pretty far. Next, talk about Wills and Jason. Basically, Becca narrowed down. They have a bit of a 2-on-1. First, she talked with Jason. Jason, definitely physical attraction. She's mentioned before that physical attraction, it's there. But they never talk about any of the other stuff outside of that. Any of the emotional things. And that's why Becca is a little bit unsure about it. Unsure about Jason. And Jason mentions that, I'm here for you. I'm willing to take a risk. I just have my walls up because I've been hurt in the past. And for me, it's challenging for me to talk about those things, but I'm willing to have my heart broken and take those risks in order to pursue things further with you. And you can see Becca's just highly attracted to Jason, a lot more attracted to Jason than she is with Wills, even though she wished that Jason would be a little bit more vulnerable. But you can see that she's going to pick Jason. Actually, you know what? I didn't see that. Actually, I thought that, looking at the narrative, how Becca was looking for Jason to reveal a lot more and be a little bit more vulnerable. And then you transition that to conversation with Wills. Here you see Wills, he's open. Becca's saying we have the nerd thing. He's open. He basically expresses his feelings. I really like this guy. And Wills thinks he has it locked in. And then Wills gets sent home. Man, I was so disappointed when Wills got sent home. I cannot believe it. Especially when Becca said to him that I'm just not the person for you. You will find your person. And Wills even mentioned that. He could not believe it. And I had a fit when I found that out. Because I really thought that Wills was going to shock the world shock the Bachelor Nation world, and actually get a hometown date. They had a great conversation. They have similar families, as she alluded to. Families that have been together, basically Will's parents, together 50 years, and then Becca's parents were together for about 20 years before her father unfortunately passed away. So you thought that just maybe, because Will's a little bit more open about things, that she would have won Will. But my main problem with how she handled the Will situation is that she kept on kissing the guy. Why did she keep kissing the guy if she already had her mind up? I don't want to hear, well, she was in the moment. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. Forget about the moment. Oh, but now I can think about it logically now that the moment is over. I don't want to hear that. If you already made your mind up, don't keep on kissing. Don't keep on leading him on. And to me, she led him on. That's leading someone on. If I'm on a date with someone and I tell them how I feel, and I tell them I'm into them, and then they kiss me to show that they're interested back in me, and then later on I don't hear back from them, that's leading on. So in a way, in this situation, she was kissing him, making him think that here, I'm into you, this can progress to hometowns, and then she just breaks his heart and sends him home. And then obviously Will's just crying, he's heartbroken. So I didn't like how Becca handled that at all. She led him on. I don't care what you guys think. Tell me what you guys think. Did Becca lead Will's on? And did Becca make the right decision to go with Jason? That's like serious question. What do you guys think about that? So Jason got the rose. So now it's down to Jason, Garrett, Blake, and Colton. Hometowns. It's gonna be an explosive hometowns episode like it always is. It's always fun to watch the parents interact with the Bachelorette or the Bachelor, sometimes with threats. It's always amusing. I'm looking forward to that. I saw a brief sneak peek of prior Bachelorette contestants make an appearance on this show. Our next episode, episode 8. I did not watch it because I don't like spoilers. I only saw like bits and pieces of it. So just see what happens. Let me know what you guys think about this episode. Leave a like, leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think about this video. And remember, I'm not here to tell you what you want to hear, but what you need to hear.